As it is, they played the last 3 matches with this setter, so they have some practice with him. They had the week to prepare for this eventuality, and so they will be, I think, a little bit better than they were last week.
And Markus Böhme is not with you tonight, so is this something unexpected, and how do you solve that problem?
Unexpected for sure. He was sick yesterday, so we only learned that when we went to practice. It's a loss for us, but we have 2 other strong middles, Nedeljkovic and Brown, so in the normal way of things we can manage without too many problems. We'll see how the game goes.
So we can expect a fighting team tonight?
Of course, it was the case also. We could to have a big advantage against us. It means advantage from Friedrichshafen, and each time we could to fight, we come back in this first game, and I hope a little bit more stability to keep our level. After, of course, Friedrichshafen at home is the favorite.
Thank you very much and good luck.
Thank you.
Ta coupe de cheveux, ta coupe de cheveux, ta coupe de cheveux. Béni, mais putain, déconne pas. C'est quoi, c'est passé?
Pa si mene našao da snimaš. Mene našao odmah prvo da snimam.
Amazing.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the playoffs of the 2023 CEV Men's Champions League, the second leg of this playoff series between Tours Volleyball of France and VfB Friedrichshafen of Germany. Winner of this 2-match series advances in the bracket to take on the number 1 seed overall, Jastrzębski Węgiel out of Poland, who Friedrichshafen saw throughout pool play in Group A, where they took second. And here's a look at our playoffs just before this. Oh, the match is still going on, but the result is decided. Zaksa Kędzierzyn-Koźle beat Warta Zawiercie, all Polish playoff. They beat him 3-0 on the road last week. All Zaksa needed this week at home was 2 sets won. They currently lead that match 2-1 as we speak right now. That is enough for Zaksa, the 2-time reigning champions, to advance. So we know that Zaksa Kędzierzyn-Koźle will advance to take on Itas Trentino. Also going on right now a one-match series between the Berlin Recycling Volleys and Ziraat Bankası Ankara of Turkey. One-match series in Berlin. The match last week was supposed to be played in Ankara, was canceled due to the Turkish earthquake. So one match, do or die in that one. That one is midway through the first set right now. But all focus right here. Last week, last Wednesday, in France, Friedrichshafen went in a hostile environment on the road and convincingly won that match 3-0. What that means for this one is that if Friedrichshafen takes 2 sets tonight, they advance, and the series is decided. I want to thank everyone for watching live on Eurovolley TV and the European Volleyball YouTube channel. All Champions League matches, men's and women's, tonight live, public, for free on YouTube in fundraising support efforts of Turkish earthquake relief. My name is Rob St. Clair. Great to be back with you for the second leg of this series. It was a good one last week, but the storyline we've got to kind of start off with is that right before the match last week, Tour's captain and starting setter, Željko Ćorić out of Bosnia-Herzegovina, was injured during warm-ups. He was slated to start the match at the setter position. He did line up to start the match, but immediately went to the bench before even the first point for backup setter Gary Chauvin. And all players at this level, if you're on a Champions League playoff team roster, you are clearly capable and talented enough to come in and play. But the preparation, especially the mental preparation, the difference in that, if you're a backup setter like Chauvin, for example, if you're expecting to come in and start a match, that is a different story than if you're finding out at the last second because your starting setter got hurt during warm-ups that you're going to start a match. So it was pretty clear that the Tour offense wasn't quite operating on all cylinders last week because of the last-second starting setter change, and Friedrichshafen certainly took advantage of that. So Friedrichshafen grabbed the key 3-0 victory on the road. Friedrichshafen at home now needs 2 sets only to advance to the quarterfinals. And another nice storyline in this one is the battle of 2 very good friends, Luciano Polonsky of Tours and Luciano Vicentin of Friedrichshafen, both outside hitters out of Argentina. They both have been vocal on social media the last week or so about how much this series means to them to get to play against one another. They've been best friends ever since growing up in the Argentinian youth development system. But opponents in this Champions League series, and got to be honest, last week's match in France didn't go particularly well for either of those 2 guys individually. Vicentin and Polonsky were both removed from the starting lineup in the first set. So I expect them both to get the start here tonight, and we'll see if they can take more advantage of the opportunity to play against one another. Both of these rosters featuring significant international flavor. Hardly any, if any, players from the club's home country in their respective starting lineups. Friedrichshafen, I know for a fact, will start 0 Germans tonight. Marcus Buma, their third middle blocker, the veteran. We heard from Mark Lebedew in the pregame interview that he is ill and he is not going to be suiting up tonight. So only 2 middle blockers dressing for Friedrichshafen. That's Aleksandar Nedeljkovic out of Serbia and Andre Brown out of Canada. So here are the full rosters for tonight. For Tours, you do see Željko Ćorić, the captain, has dressed. He is warming up. I'm not entirely sure if we're going to see him in the starting lineup, however. We'll have to wait until the starting lineups are introduced to see what coach Marcelo Frankowiak of Tours is able to do at his center position. And here is the lineup for Friedrichshafen. Our hosts tonight, we did hear from Coach Mark Lebedew that Marcus Buma is not active tonight. Curious to see what Friedrichshafen does at the outside hitter position. Their normal starting duo has been Luciano Vicentin and Žiga Stern all season long, but with the very capable Vojan Čačić, the Montenegrin, off the bench, who did come in last week and played great in place of Vicentin. So Mark Lebedew's got plenty of options at outside hitter. He's got an outstanding opposite in Michal Superlak, the Polish player coming over from Warszawa this offseason. But not very many options at middle blockers. Without Marcus Buma, only 2 healthy middles dressing for Friedrichshafen, with advancement to the Champions League quarterfinals on the line. And there is the outstanding libero Blair Ban, number 8 in white for Friedrichshafen, the Canadian, finally healthy this club season after missing all of last summer's national team season with a hip injury. On the Tours side, as they warm up in white, I expect plenty of international flavor there as well. If Zelko Chorich is able to start at setter, we've got Joao Rafael de Barros Ferreira, likely starter at outside hitter, across from probably Luciano Polonsky, although we did see Pierre Derion, the lefty, coming off the bench last week and play pretty well in Polonsky's place. Middles I expect to see are Dmitro Teryemenko out of Ukraine and Michael Parkinson out of the Netherlands, with Benjamin Diaz, the outstanding backup French national team libero. So we'll see if I'm correct about those predictions for the starting lineups. But if that's the case, between the two teams, there's only one player. That would be Benjamin Diaz playing, representing his home country for his own club team. Lot of international talent for both of these teams. So warm-ups are complete, just about ready to learn the coach's starting lineup choices and get underway with this second leg Champions League playoff match. Live from Germany, the home team Friedrichshafen needs 2 sets. If Friedrichshafen takes 2 sets, they will advance to the quarterfinal. Just about ready to go, ladies and gentlemen. Tours versus Friedrichshafen. Friedrichshafen needs 2 sets to advance to take on Jastrzębski Węgiel in the Champions League quarterfinals. Can Tours complete the miraculous comeback after losing 3-0 at home last week to force a golden set here tonight? As we introduce our officials, David Fernandez Fuentes out of Spain and Igor Šimpl out of Slovenia. Slovakia, my apologies. So time to learn the starting lineups. First for the visitors of Coach Marcelo Frankowiak, Tours Volleyball, who lead the French Ligue A at the moment. Outside hitter duo Joao Rafael de Barros, the Brazilian, across from Luciano Polonsky, the Argentinian. Abubakar Drame Neto, nicknamed Abuba, the Brazilian lefty, on the opposite. No surprise there. Dmitro Teryemenko and Michael Parkinson at the middle blockers. Benjamin Diaz at libero. But who will be the starting setter? Let's see. It will be the backup setter, Gary Scholvian, who learned at the last second last week that he was going to be starting in this same matchup. But Tours now with the ability to prepare for a different setter, I expect to look like a completely different team. So Scholvian gets the start. And now the starting lineups for the home side, VfB Friedrichshafen, led by Coach Mark Lebedew. They need 2 sets here at home to advance tonight. Alexander Nedeljkovic in the middle gets the start. No surprise there. Michał Superlak at opposite. Luciano Vicentin at outside hitter. Captain, veteran Slovenian setter Dejan Vincic gets the start. His countryman Žiga Stern, MVP of last week's match, starts at outside hitter. Andre Brown, big number 18 in blue, the Canadian at middle blocker, and his countryman Blair Ban, the Canadian libero, number 8 in white. So the exact same starting lineup that we saw last week for Friedrichshafen. Looking to get 2 sets here tonight at home to guarantee a place in the next round. And there are the coaches, 2 veterans of the game, Mark Lebedew out of Australia and Marcelo Frankowiak out of Brazil. Both have coached all over the world. And here they are with a lot on the line to try and advance to the Champions League quarterfinals. So it will be Tours out of France on our left in white serving. Dmytro Teryemenko, the Ukrainian middle blocker, set to get us underway. Tours on your left serving. Friedrichshafen on your right in blue receiving. Leg 2 of the Champions League playoff. Friedrichshafen needs 2 sets at home to advance, but not a good start there. First ball side out chance in rotation 1. Hit out of bounds down the line by opposite Michał Superlak out of Poland, and Tours, the visitors, are on the board first. Teryemenko gives it back on the service error. Always interesting to see the adjustments that are made in a 2-match series, especially in the second leg now that the teams have got a full match's worth of data on one another. But again, a huge storyline for Tours is the setter position. Gary Scholvian, number 8 in white, running the French offense right now, and a beautiful set straight up for Abuba. Abubakar Drame Neto, nicknamed Abuba, the big Brazilian lefty, rips that one cross court that time. Abuba back to serve, veteran of several leagues all around the world. Played pretty well for Vibo Valencia in Italy a couple seasons ago. Transition chance for Tours off the off speed. Nice recycle there by Argentinian Luciano Polonsky. Now Abuba has a swing out of the back row against 3 blockers and puts it away off the hands and out of bounds. Smart volleyball there from Tours. Abuba challenging the high hands as he so often will do. 2 meters and 4. And a really good jumper. Abuba can beat a lot of teams with pure contact height, and even if the block gets some hands on it, no guarantee that those deflections will be favorable for the defense. Vicentin fights off that pass, 2-man game, out of system swing, dug by Abuba. Abuba dug cross court by Vincic, but right on the net, beautiful scoop by Ban. Wait, this is still alive. Oh, Tours didn't think so, and now sure enough, it is called out of bounds. So that pursuit by Vicentin towards the Tours bench. That ball needed to travel outside the antenna both ways, and you can see right there, that ball dug by Blair Ban inside the antenna on its way over to the Tours side. So not able to be pursued legally. Nice start for the French side. 4 serving 1. Again, Friedrichshafen needs 2 sets to advance. Tours needs to win the match 3-0 or 3-1 tonight to force a golden set. Canadian Andre Brown at the service line that time missed it out of bounds. Serving was a storyline last week. Way too many service errors for both teams, in my opinion. 15 for Friedrichshafen in 3 sets, 14 for Tours. Got to serve the ball cleaner. Here is Polonsky keeping that one in play, handled easily by Stern. Beautiful dig by Diaz, but all the way up into the ceiling. Wow, you don't see that very often in Champions League level volleyball. The ceilings in this arena in Germany awfully high. But that scoop by Diaz hit the ceiling and immediately out of bounds, give the kill to Aleksandar Nedeljkovic, number 1 in blue, the Serbian middle blocker, and that sends Friedrichshafen's primary scorer, Michal Superlak, the opposite number 6 in blue, back to the service line. Good read there, and Nedeljkovic will get credit for a block that time against Michael Parkinson. Yeah, Vicentin there as well. Really good block discipline right there by Friedrichshafen. And Tours without their starting setter, no Zelko Choric, it is Gary Chauvin. At least this time, unlike last week, he's prepared fully to start this match. Good block touch there by Nedeljkovic against Joao Rafael. Transition chance. Kept alive nicely by Polonsky. Now Abuba takes a swing, somehow kept alive out of the net. Free ball here for Tours. Abuba again, dug by Ban down the line, but into the spectators. Okay, nice work by Tours hanging in there after giving up pretty close to a free ball off a good Friedrichshafen block touch. They had a chance to run it back in offense, but couldn't quite capitalize on the breakpoint chance. It's 6-4, Tours leads, and Michael Parkinson, the big Dutch middle blocker, number 22 in white, back to serve. Pretty good block touch there by Teryemenko against Nedeljkovic, but not quite good enough. Aleksandar Nedeljkovic, 25 years of age, 2 meters and 7. Part of a really deep middle blocker position group for Serbia. Joao Rafael waits on his approach and basically flat-footed somehow finds some space deep cross court. Nice adjustment there for number 1 in white. See how early he is, and indicative of the setter and the outside hitter not quite being on the same page, but Joao Rafael skilled enough to make the adjustment. We will follow along with how good that setter to hitter connection is on the Tours side with a different setter in right now. And speaking of setter to hitter connections, that one right there for Friedrichshafen looks awfully nice. Vincic to Superlak out of the back row. Abuba off speed on the left side over the triple block and down. Nice choice there by number 10 in white, and a clutch play in an out-of-system situation to get Tours out of rotation 1. That one rotation where the opposite and the outside hitters switch which wing they attack on. Definitely an uncomfortable one for Tours on average, but they get out of it the first chance there. They keep a 2-point lead. Now Joao Rafael back to serve. Pretty good block touch there against Stern. Breakpoint chance. Chauvin to Polonsky. Beautiful diving play by Ban. Superlak in transition off the block and out of bounds. And Friedrichshafen does get the side out. Took him 2 swings to get it. But really good defense by world-class libero Blair Ban to keep that Tours transition attack alive. Here is the veteran Slovenian setter Dejan Vincic, captain of this Friedrichshafen side. Wow, what a shot by Abuba. Either inside or between 3 blockers cross court and right on the sideline. Oh, that's inside. Wow, inside 3 blockers. That is a ridiculous piece of pure, raw attacking ability. Must be nice to pretend like a 3-man block isn't even there up in front of you and still hit the court like that. Rotation 1 receive for Friedrichshafen, and Stern is stuffed straight down. What a block by Luciano Polonsky. Parkinson there as well, and this is that rotation that I'm talking about. In Friedrichshafen's case, it's Stern on the right side, Superlock on the left. And Polonsky with the highlight reel block that time. 10-7 Tours, looking good. A lot of volleyball left to be played, obviously. Every point matters, especially for the visitors. Decent pass there by Polonsky. Gets a chance on the outside and tipped off the block of Andre Brown, out of bounds. Luciano Polonsky out of Argentina, best friends growing up with his opponent, Luciano Vicentin. Two Argentinian outside hitters, both wearing number 7 for their respective teams, both named Luciano. I don't know how much more similar these two guys could get. They've both been vocal on social media in the weeks leading up to this series about how cool it is to play against one another at this level. And there is Vicentin with a good kill deep off the fingertips on the left side for Friedrichshafen. Pretty good matchup there. Vicentin, a really good sized outside hitter at 1.99 m over Gary Chauvin on only 1.85 m. You better believe Vincic knows about that matchup and is going to go straight over the top of it as much as he can. And another service error by Andre Brown, his second of the first set already. Ooh, look at that. Change-up serve from Luciano Polonsky. Looked really conservative, but forces the middle blocker, Aleksandar Nedeljkovic, to try and receive that one. He makes a mess of that. Shank pass service ace for Tours, and it's 13-9, and timeout Mark Lebedew of Friedrichshafen. Four-point Tours lead in the first set here. A lot of volleyball left to be played, but a good start for the visitors with their backs against the wall. And that is a bomb out of the timeout by Aleksandar Nedeljkovic. Good timeout there from Friedrichshafen to really organize their side-out offense. Yeah, Parkinson nowhere even close to slowing that middle attack down. Let's see what Superlock can do here from the service line. Pretty good fight-off pass right there by D.A. Joao Rafael. Chopped down the line. Might have been going out of bounds, but Superlock stabs at it and can't keep it in play. Joao Rafael already showing some ability to adjust to sets that aren't exactly where he's expecting. And although Tours has gotten out of those situations just fine so far, it still looks to me, just like it did last week, like the connection between Gary Chauvin, the new starting setter, and his attackers isn't quite perfect just yet. Good deep swing right there by Vicentin off his longtime Argentinian teammate Polonsky and into the spectators. Perfect first ball side out there from Friedrichshafen. Well organized offense from the captain Dejan Vincic. And now Vicentin goes back to serve. Really good pass right there by Polonsky. Not perfect connection there in the middle to Teryemenko, but Tours gets a free ball out of it. Abuba out of the back row. I thought there was a chance that he might have stepped on the attack line, but no call, and he puts it away cross court out of the back row. Very nice start to this match by number 10 in white. That is a ridiculous cross-court angle, especially out of the back row. Just phenomenal skill and athleticism from Abuba. Ooh, good block touch there against Superlak. Great transition chance for towards Abuba again. Blocked and covered by Diaz. Abuba one more time. Crazy cross-court angle. Vincic not ready for it. That is incredible range. Almost no approach that time from Abuba. And a nice set by Chauvin, keeping the Friedrichshafen block off balance. And it's a 5-point Tours lead. A reminder of the stakes. I'm going to keep saying this a lot, but it's important to make this clear. Friedrichshafen needs to win 2 sets. That's it. Tours needs to win 3-0 or 3-1. And still, if they're not done at that point, we would have a golden set. Another good put away there by Nedeljkovic in the middle. Friedrichshafen having success in the middle attacking phase right now. But other than that, Tours block defense doing a pretty good job slowing him down. Ooh, Joao Rafael on the right side there, way out of system, tried to chop it down the line and missed it out of bounds wide. Opening the door a little bit for Friedrichshafen right here. Nedeljkovic can continue to serve the ball inbounds. Great chance to get some block touches and kickstart some transition against Tours rotation 1 receive. Here's Joao Rafael again, and no doubt about that one. Nice pass to attack. Footwork and arm swing that time from number 1 in white. Look how far inside the court Joao Rafael is there. Hand passes that ball, gets his feet all the way to the sideline to have a swing. That's pure effort. And now he goes back to serve. Good high swing right there by Stern. You can hear Blair Ban. That's the Canadian libero. Blair Ban yelling 3, 3, 3. Telling Stern that he's got 3 blockers up in front of him. Really helps an attacker to have that feedback while he's in the air, trying to look at the ball, look at the block, and pick what shot he's going to hit. That time he goes high hands off the 3-man wall. Polonsky slowed down by Superlak. Great transition chance here. Stern again is stuffed straight down. Wow, what a block by Abuba. And Teryemenko there as well. Huge block. Let's see, who got most of this? Oh, that is all Abuba, 100%. Totally wiping out that transition swing chance to keep Tours lead at 4. That was emphatic. Wow, back row combination play. Vincic to Vicentin with no block up to slow that pipe attack down. I love that set choice, and I expect to see a lot more of that. Look at Parkinson shuffling to his right to stay in front of the quick middle attacker, totally leaving the pipe wide open. And Vicentin, that middle back player out of position 6, comes flying in from behind the 3-meter line. One pipe deserves another. Look at that. Chauvin responding with the same set choice, and Joao Rafael puts it away. Friedrichshafen block a little bit more ready for it, but still couldn't slow it down. I love watching volleyball at this high of a level when setters really feel the flow of the game and go back and forth like that. You know, Chauvin saw that pipe run the play before. Was like, oh, that's a good idea. Might as well run one of those myself. And a service ace right there from Abuba. A little weird, knuckly off-speed sort of thing. Yeah, cuts it across, and I think deflected off the tape slightly to confuse Vicentin, the receiver in position 5. It's a 5-point Tours lead. Timeout Friedrichshafen, their second of the set. And this gym is dead silent right now in Germany. out of the timeout. Abuba serving again for Tours. Just had an ace last time. Let's see what he's got here. Handled perfectly by Ban. Brown ripped to the floor through the block in the middle. So not over yet, but Tours in a very commanding position. As long as they can side out efficiently the rest of this first set, they will be one step closer to forcing a golden set tiebreaker as Friedrichshafen inserts a substitution. It's Tim Pater, number 4 in blue, backup outside hitter, in to serve and play defense for Andre Brown. Pretty good pass there from Polonsky. Parkinson in the middle, dug by Stern. Right on the net, Superlak sends it over, and he's dug as well. Polonsky, quick delivery from Chovy, and goes off the block, I believe, of Vincic, and way out of bounds there. So Tours handles the service substitution from Friedrichshafen, no problem. That's Nedeljkovic there, the late blocker, who couldn't keep that touch in play. And now Polonsky's turn. Keeping the serve in play, working on Stern's hands that time. Superlak tipped off the block of Joao Rafael, and out of bounds. Friedrichshafen is yet to really give this home crowd a whole lot to cheer about. It's been a pretty muted atmosphere so far as Tours have led since basically first serve of this first set. And that serve missed well out of bounds by Superlak. Now Tours is 3 points away. Here is Parkinson. Look how far up in the court Vicentin is to pass that ball. Good read by Joao Rafael on the off speed, but basically a free ball now for Friedrichshafen. Vicentin not quite able to be kept alive by his childhood friend Polonsky, and Friedrichshafen achieves this side out, but they are running out of time to erase this 4-point deficit. Vicentin is a very capable server, and at this point you basically have to go after this as aggressively as you can. Let's see what happens. And right on cue, Vicentin rips an ace serve and injects a little bit of juice into this home German crowd. Okay, definitely not over yet. Really well located into the seam between Polonsky and libero Benjamin Diaz. And a smart timeout from Marcelo Frankowiak of Tours just to make sure the Vicentin doesn't get hot. Tours still leads by 3, but they take their first timeout here late in the first. Confirmation of one of our other Champions League playoff matches that just went final. Zawiercie beat Zaksa Kiciuszyn Kozle in 5, 15-11 in the 5th, but that result does not matter as much as Zaksa took 2 sets early. Zaksa advances to take on Trentino in the next round. As we're back here to action, Tours achieves the side out, gets Vicentin off the service line with a really good deep cross-court out of system swing by Abuba. And now Tours only 2 points away. So welcome to those of you who might have been tuning into the all-Polish playoff match series between Zaksa and Zawiercie. This one here between Tours and Friedrichshafen, a pretty similar situation. Friedrichshafen won the match last week on the road, 3-0. The worst they can do at home now is go to a golden set. Friedrichshafen takes 2 sets, they are through. If Tours wins 3-1 or 3-0, we will play a golden set tiebreaker to 15 points. And that one by Joao Rafael on the right side, off the block of Stern, out of bounds to bring up set point Tours, 24-20, to take 1 step closer to making the comeback. Set point number 1 for Tours, and Superlak on the right side gets the fingertips of the block on its way out of bounds that time. So 1 set point saved, and now Dejan Vincic represents Friedrichshafen's last chance in the first set here. Set point Tours in reception. And that serve missed out of bounds long by Vincic, and that'll do it. Marcelo Frankowiak and company come in to Germany on the road, needing pretty much perfect volleyball, and they have achieved step 1, win the first set. They have done so 25-21. Much more volleyball left to play here in the second leg of this Champions League playoff series, but Tours draws first blood this evening. 25-21, they take the first. Friedrichshafen will look to respond at home as we get set for set number 2, coming right up in just a couple minutes. Don't go anywhere, live on European Volleyball YouTube channel. Ready to go live from Germany with set number 2 of Tours versus Friedrichshafen, the second leg of this Champions League playoff match. Rob St. Clair with you live here on European Volleyball YouTube channel or Eurovolley TV. Thanks for watching wherever you are and however you are watching around the world. Oh, there we go. Good to see a couple Tours fans have made the trip across the border. Pretty quiet gym here in Germany, got to be honest. The home court advantage for Friedrichshafen here, not quite as significant as it was in France last week. But clearly that hasn't mattered at all in this series so far. The visiting teams are undefeated in sets through 4 sets played in this particular matchup. And Tours' offense was absolutely flying in the first set. Abuba in particular on the right side for Tours, 8 for 11 with no errors. Double-digit points because he had a block and an ace in the first set alone. That is absolutely ridiculous output. See if Tours can keep that up or if Friedrichshafen can find a way to slow them down. Ready to go here is set number 2. Friedrichshafen in blue on your left serving. Polonsky handles that ball off the tape. And Abuba on the right side continues his pretty much flawless start to this match with yet another kill off the block and out of bounds. Here is Teryemenko, the veteran Ukrainian middle blocker. Nice range there from Superlak. Saw this a decent amount last week. I love the way he's able to get his shoulders to the ball, face the cross court, but with that inside-out shoulder action, hit the ball down the line like that. Inside-out spin. That's Sort of that wrist away cut spin. That one barely catches a piece of the sideline. Basically an unstoppable swing right there. Andre Brown keeps that serve in play, one-on-one for Polonsky on the left side. Really nice setting by Chauvin. And Polonsky puts it away off Brown and out of bounds. You see that when the ball's passed perfectly at this level, the opposing middle blocker has the hardest job in all the world. You can't leave the middle attacker alone, otherwise he's going to have a wide open net. But if you commit with him or a jump on him, you're going to have a one-on-one on the wings. Tough situation to be in. Abuba misses that serve short, ties us up at 2 apiece here early on in the second. Superlock back to the line. Tour's passing numbers actually in the first set weren't overwhelmingly good, only 6% perfect passing, but certainly didn't affect their offensive efficiency. Pretty good block touch there by Friedrichshafen, but well watched by Joao Rafael right near the baseline, and he lets it go out of bounds long. Here is Polonsky. He's been keeping this sort of change-up float serve in play so far this match. Superlock ripped down the line again. That is the balance right there, ladies and gentlemen, of serving aggressiveness. That serve was easily handled by Vicentin, who's obviously, like we've said, been playing with Polonsky ever since they were children. When the ball's passed perfectly at this level, these offenses are darn near impossible to stop. You've got to apply some service pressure, but with that comes the risk of service errors, and there's one right there from Vicentin. So it's a fascinating thing to see how coaches and players manage their level of serving aggressiveness, that risk versus reward ratio. Oh, look at that. Another ace serve from a float server. Michael Parkinson drops one off the cliff over the heads of the receivers and right on the baseline. Okay. Not the most threatening serve Friedrichshafen's going to see all year, but just as effective. Better pass there from Vicentin. Superlock out of the back row puts it away, I think, right through the block of Joao Rafael. He couldn't believe he didn't block that ball. So now Nedeljkovic back to serve. Ooh, and a float service error that time. That's something that coaches will talk about to their players, or they'll have a strategy for, of their 6 servers in their regular rotation, some guys will be given a longer leash to be more aggressive than others. It depends on a lot of things. Obviously, the style of serve, the moment in the match. But if you're a float server like Nedeljkovic, you got to keep that ball in play. And right there, a beautiful block by Teryemenko to shut down Andre Brown. Look at this move. That's actually not even Teryemenko. That's Joao Rafael. What a play. A help blocking play from the left side blocker. Teryemenko was nowhere to be found. Amazing instincts from number 1 in white. Stern chopped deep down the line. Polonsky is there. Transition chance. Superlock keeps it alive. Wow, another amazing adjustment from Joao Rafael. I have no idea how he's dealing with all these balls where he takes his approach, then has to completely adjust with his body to a ball that's not where he's expecting it. That one was way behind him. Basically had to stop and jump backwards and still was able to score. That's remarkable adjustment skill. And toward all of a sudden, as quick as you like, leads by 4. Oh, beautiful 2 touches, though. That's got to come over as a free ball. Not a great set to Stern, but he gets away with it. A little tight and low, but he pushes it down the line to get Friedrichshafen out of that rotation. Nice pipe combination play there for Tours. Polonsky keeping his feet behind the 3-meter line to put that one away. Yep, you see how off balance that creates the Friedrichshafen block. Brown sort of half jumping on the middle. Vincic in between, going out to the outside and coming back in to try and slow down the pipe. Just no way you can put up a good block against that. 4 attackers against 3 blockers is always going to be a mismatch. Really good pass right there. Stern on the right side. Dug nicely by Diaz off a block touch. Transition swing for Abuba. Crushed down the line. Whoa. What a shot. That silenced this German crowd in a big way. Look at that. Straight across his body, denting the floorboards. We've seen almost exclusively cross-court attacking from Abuba so far, but no doubt about that one down the line. Tattooing a Mikasa into the floor. And timeout Mark Lebedew of Friedrichshafen. His Tours has extended their lead to 5.
Take it. Okay, high off the hands. We have a big space there. We need some more pressure with the serve. But then when we have a chance for 3 blocks, we have to get there early. We can't let him just hit at the 3rd blocker. Okay, guys, we need to make it.
Love the ability to get a microphone in on coaches in the timeouts, especially for a team like Friedrichshafen, obviously playing in the German Bundesliga, but without a single German in their starting lineup. Mark Lebedew, the Australian, and it just so happens that the common language for the team is English, so we can really hear what's going on in those timeouts. Lebedew talking about the discipline of the triple block of Friedrichshafen when they get in situations where they're able to get 3 blockers up. That last blocker, the one coming in from the other side of the court, needs to be more disciplined. And good timeout there from Lebedew. He'll take a little bit of credit for what we call a coach's point. When you call timeout and the other team immediately misses a serve. So Friedrichshafen will take it. Let's see what Stern can do from the service line here. Served really well in this matchup last week, but has yet to really put on any pressure here tonight. Pretty good pass from Polonsky. Abuba blocked, somehow covered. And Polonsky off the block and out of bounds. That was an amazing coverage play. I think that was Joao Rafael in tight to cover the block on the pancake. Let's see this. Yes, definitely Joao Rafael. You couldn't quite see because the camera's behind him if he got all the way underneath that ball. But, well, I was about to say no complaint from Friedrichshafen, but in fact we do have a challenge. Our first of the match, Friedrichshafen thinks that block touched the floor. If any part of the ball touches any part of the floor during that pancake attempt by Joao Rafael, this is Friedrichshafen's point. If you're new to the challenge system, you can challenge just about anything in volleyball other than judgment calls like double contacts or carries. And you get 2 challenges for each team for each set, but if you get your challenge correct, you keep it. And sure enough, nice freeze frame right there. That ball pretty clearly touching the floor. So yes, floor touch is called. That is a successful challenge and a Friedrichshafen point. Tour disagrees. They're looking at the big monitor here in the house saying, no, what are you talking about? He got his hand underneath that. From that freeze frame that we just saw, it was extremely clear to me that that ball is touching the floor. Frankowiak disagrees, but the decision has been made. Friedrichshafen takes the point on the successful challenge, and they're back within 3. Now Stern serving again. Pretty good change-up serve there. Abuba against 2 blockers, trying to get the fingertips down the line and doesn't catch him. And you can see there immediately he signals to his bench, no, 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 I did not get the block. Do not waste a challenge on this. Which is another factor of the challenge system. You can't just spray the ball out of bounds and beg for a touch on every play. Because if you're wasting challenges, you might run out of them for later in the set when you need it much more. Good effort here from Friedrichshafen after their previous timeout to get back within 2 here. Now Frankowiak of Tours calls a timeout of his own. out of the timeout. Stern serving again, trying to make a comeback here for Friedrichshafen, and Polonsky using all the tools in his offensive toolbox. That one a two-handed kill off the block of Superlak, and well recognized because that block move by Superlak was not good at all. So Tours gets out of that rotation. Teryemenko, the 35-year-old Ukrainian, goes back to serve. And well out of bounds long that time. A reminder of the stakes. If Friedrichshafen takes 2 sets, this series is over and Friedrichshafen advances to take on Jastrzębski Węgiel in the quarterfinals. If Tours wins this match 3-0 or 3-1, we will immediately play a golden set. And blocks like that might push us in that direction. A big-time 3-man wall there for Tours, anchored by Michael Parkinson. Oh, huge block. Really good synchronization between all 3 blockers, jumping at the same time, leaving no space and penetrating over the net, leaving no weak points for Vicentin to try and target. 12-9 now. Abuba back to serve. Puts pressure on Stern there. And this will be a free ball at best. And Vicentin can't quite send it over the tape. So a streaky game here in the second set. Tours went on a big run to go up 10-5. Friedrichshafen called timeout, brought it back within 2. Tours called timeout, and now here they are leading once again by 4. Vicentin covered by the block, but a premature whistle on a net violation by the Tours blockers will give Friedrichshafen that point, and Chauvin, the setter, admits to that net touch immediately. Actually, I think what just happened there is that Chauvin pulled off the net and let Polonsky and Parkinson block the entire court in the out-of-system situation. We'll see that. We've seen teams do this before. Funny we talk about Jastrzębski as the winner of this series, advances to take them on in the next round. Teams with Benjamin Toniutti, the shorter French setter, have done this before. Like Zaxo, when they had Toniutti, did this. When Toniutti's in the front court, the shorter setter, sometimes in out-of-system situations, they'll pull him off the net to defend off speed and only send up 2 blockers. That one hit out of bounds right there by Stern out of the pipe. I think we might have just seen Tours do the same thing. Out-of-system situation, blocking against an outside hitter with Chauvin, the front court setter, just pull him off the net and let the middle blocker and the outside hitter handle the blocking duties. So I'll keep my eye on it, see if that happens again. But in the meantime, we've got a challenge here from Friedrichshafen. They thought that pipe swing from Ziga Stern caught a piece of the end line. Looked out of bounds to me in real time, but we will see. And sure enough, about 1 ball width, out of bounds long. So Friedrichshafen now 1 for 2 in challenges in this set. Tours lead is back up to 5. Tim Pater is in at outside hitter. We've seen him only as a service sub in this series so far. Now he's in for Ziga Stern, and another transition kill. That's Joao Rafael on the left side after Vicentin was unable to put it away inside out. And another timeout here from Friedrichshafen. Just not really feeling any energy from the German side playing at home here tonight. A lot on the line, obviously, and they've got the inside track to advancing from this series after winning 3-0 on the road last week. But see if Lebedew on this timeout can inject some energy into his team. Friedrichshafen now out of timeouts and trailing by 6. Can they get back into this second set? Good block touch there against Polonsky. Abuba ripped down the line out of the back row. Absolutely perfect. I love watching volleyball from that baseline camera angle. Yeah, here it is. You can really see the way the offenses move side to side, the way they create separation from the opposing blockers. You can see that shot by Abuba, seeing the space left by the blocker between his outside hand and the antenna and finding that perfect line corner. I love that swing, and now we see a double substitution on the Friedrichshafen side. It's the 6-2, backup setter, backup opposite. Backup setter is Mateusz Biernat, the 30-year-old from Poland, and the backup opposite, Miguel Angel Martinez, the young 20-year-old out of Colombia. So those two are in, see if they can generate some momentum in the rest of this second set for Friedrichshafen. Vicentin gets that kill off the block and out of bounds, but this kind of shows me that Friedrichshafen might be punting on this second set a little bit. Taking out your captain and your primary scorer just because not really much is working for you. You don't really have any energy. I think Lebedou's play right here is to take two of his most important players, give them a chance to reset mentally on the bench for the rest of this set, understanding that coming back from down 7 is pretty unlikely. And just trying to put Friedrichshafen in a better position to start the third set. But all credit to Tours for putting on all this pressure. With their backs against the wall, coming in here on the road this week, not afraid of the moment, understanding what they've had to do, and have played significantly the better volleyball in all phases so far, even though that one put away nicely on the back one by Nedeljkovic. So at least gives us an opportunity to see some more players from even more different countries represented. We got Biernat out of Poland and Martinez, the opposite, out of Colombia. What a set by Gary Chauvin. Unfortunately, though, Abuba was on the 3-meter attack line as he jumped to attack that ball. He disagrees. That's a shame. If that point had stood, I would be fascinated to go to the replay and see exactly what Chauvin did with his hands to get two hands on that tight ball and get it back to Abuba, but no challenge from Tours, and Friedrichshafen takes that point, although they immediately return the favor with a service error by Nedeljkovic. There is Martinez, the lefty, number 17 in blue, with his first swing of the match, and it's a good one. Crushed off the block and out of bounds. Miguel Angel Martinez, 2 meters tall, born in 2003 from Colombia, and playing in the Bundesliga for the second best team in that league is a pretty nice step to his young career, although he misses that serve into the top tape. Worth pointing out that this is a rematch of the 2007 Champions League final. The only Champions League win in Friedrichshafen's history came in 2007 over Tours. And man, another huge block from Abuba right there. Teryemenko there as well. It is all Tours here through almost 2 sets in Friedrichshafen. There's a chance we could be headed for a golden set here. Most of these players were just children when that Champions League final was played back in 07. Friedrichshafen won that one over Tours in the final. Tours actually won their only Champions League 2 years before that in 2005. So you'll see on the shoulders of both teams' jerseys, you've got the CEV Champions League logo, and both teams will have 1 star above that logo for each of them having won this tournament once in each club's history. Here is Tim Pater now in at full-time outside hitter duty. Nice swing there from Teryemenko in the middle off the block and out of bounds. It is looking like Tours is going to go up 2 sets to none here Inching closer to forcing a golden set. This is not what I was expecting coming into this match tonight, especially from Friedrichshafen to come out so flat. Just no energy from their team or from their crowd for that matter. Ooh, interesting little two-ball offense there. Joao Rafael chucked that one to Abuba on the first contact, who took a swing, I think off the head of the blocker and out of bounds. So now 23-15. I think it's pretty safe to say that this second set is over. Teryemenko back to serve. Tours is going to go up 2-0 here. Biernat to Martinez out of the back row. Missed out of bounds. No touch as Teryemenko dives out of the way. Yeah, that one almost took Teryemenko's head off. Actually, pretty nice work to get out of the way of that one. That'll give him another chance to serve now for set point, 24-15. A clinic being put on by Tours here in the second set. Pater out of the back row is dug, but commits an attack line violation. So he steps on the 3-meter line as he jumps to go get that ball, called right away by our down official, and that's it. 25-15, not even close in the second set. Tours leads this do-or-die match 2-0. Remember, if Tours wins the match 3-0 or 3-1, we will immediately play a golden set, a one-set tiebreaker to decide the series to only 15 points, one of the most electric things in all of volleyball. Could be our first of the season here in the CEV Champions League, so stick around. Set number 3 coming up. If Tours wins it, we are headed to the golden set tiebreaker. Welcome back to Germany, ladies and gentlemen. Rob St. Clair here with you live as we hear from the coaches in between sets 2 and 3.
The 2-0 lead.
It's never easy. There's a really good team in front of us. We need to keep our level. This is the most important.
And are you thinking about the golden set right now, or is it just from set to set?
No way. We need to confirm. First of all, we need to confirm the victory with 3 points. This is the question. This team is really good, and I need to take attention with my team, don't to be in the cloud about the reality. This is the step by step.
Thank you very much and good luck.
Should be hearing from Friedrichshafen coach Mark Lebedew any moment. Very curious to hear what he has to say.
Mark, what adjustments are possible now after 2 sets?
The first thing is that we have to be faster with our heads, faster with our eyes. We wait too long for them to make the play, and that's the thing that we have to change.
You were 2 sets down against Montpellier inside here too. Is this something you tell the players right now?
We didn't talk about that. We just talk about how to play this set.
Thank you, man.
That is a pretty good point, that Friedrichshafen in this Champions League already has come back from 2-0 down to win matches in the pool phase. But it's going to take a transformative energy shift on their side. The Tours has been the better team this entire match. And if there was a word I could use to describe Friedrichshafen's level, it would be flat. Flat and totally devoid of energy. So Tours got to be feeling pretty good about themselves right now, but you also heard from Marcela Frankowiak that they are not at all thinking about a golden set. That is their goal, but they've got to confirm the victory in the match first. You need to win the match 3-0 or 3-1. Wonder if we'll see any lineup changes in the starting lineups for Friedrichshafen. We saw them put in a bunch of substitutes late there in the second. Setter, opposite, and outside hitter. They've only got 2 healthy middle blockers dressed right now. They've got options at every other position. Curious to see what they do here. And if you're Tours, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Their starting 7 have played outstanding volleyball so far. And just now getting the stats in through 2 sets. Abuba, 12 for 18 attacking. 3 errors. It's 50% efficiency, which is amazing, plus 2 blocks and an ace. So he's been the primary engine of the Tours offense. Joao Rafael Ferreira, very good as well. 7 for 11, only 1 ball hit out of bounds. And although Michal Superlach has been pretty good for Friedrichshafen, Ziga Stern, negative efficiency. Not really much out of either of the middles. Luciano Vicentin been pretty quiet. But there's not really so much that I pull out of statistics here in this match. It's all about the feeling here in the gym. Friedrichshafen does not feel energetic or confident or engaged, and Tours does. And there's a lot on the line here, obviously, as we start set number 3 in this Champions League playoff series. Tours in white on your left. Friedrichshafen, Doug on the right side in blue. And Polonsky in transition gets the fingertips of the block on its way out of bounds. And an immediate break point to start the 3rd set for Tours. Good bump set there from Gary Chovy. And a perfect high flat drive shot hit by Polonsky off the fingertips of the triple block and out of bounds. Good cross-court swing there from Superlach. How is Friedrichshafen going to generate break points? They have been really unable to put any service pressure on. Service pressure, blocking, defense to transition, whatever the usual methods are of generating points on your serve, it has been a struggle for Friedrichshafen here tonight, but this is a good one. Service pressure puts Tord way out of system. And they get a free ball chance, not handled very well by Superlach. However, Vicentin with a really nice piece of offense to hit that ball off the block and out of bounds, and there is a Friedrichshafen break point right on cue. Wasn't pretty necessarily, But they don't ask how, they ask how many. And how many is 2-1. Friedrichshafen leads here in the third set. Serving numbers through 2 sets are actually pretty indicative. 1 ace to 10 service errors for Friedrichshafen, 3 aces to 7 service errors for Tours. That ace to error ratio is one that coaches really like to look at often, and 1 to 10 is horrible. 3 to 7 is manageable. That's a pretty big difference. That is tipped out of the back row by Superlock, not called a carry. And I think correctly so. That didn't stick in his hands for too long. Friedrichshafen takes the lead as Coach Frankowiak of Tours borrows a water bottle from his opponent's side. Or maybe is one that he had left over there in the previous set. 2 service errors in a row from Friedrichshafen as Vicentin tries to go down the line that time but misses it out of bounds. That ball is tipped deep and finds the floor. Is that Dejan Vincic on a little pineapple sort of thing? Yes, it is. Look at that. The front court setter with the right hand over the block, over the defense's head, and to the floor in the deep part of the court. Nice play there by Vincic, but Andre Brown follows it up with a service error. Already 3 service errors out of Tours' 4 points here in this third set. 3 of them have been given for free. That is not acceptable if you are Coach Mark Lebedew. Not a great pass there, but adjusted to nicely. Vincic with the one-handed set, put away off the block by Nedeljkovic. Ooh, shank pass by Polonsky, and it's an ace serve. That's Dejan Vincic, I believe. Yes, give the captain the credit for that service ace. 2-point Friedrichshafen lead, trying to turn this match around. Abuba ripped to the center of the court out of the back row to silence this crowd once again. As anybody who's ever played volleyball or watched a lot of volleyball or especially attended matches at this high of a level, if you've done any of those things, you know how big momentum is in this game. How momentum can build, how a crowd can impact momentum. And Tours has done a great job so far in this match, taking the Friedrichshafen home crowd completely out of the game. But now a little more liveliness in the German home fans as they lead 7-5 in the third set. That swing from Abuba on the left side, missed out of bounds, wide cross court. Friedrichshafen trying to trap towards a rotation 1 right now. Stern conservatively from the service line. I like that choice. Keep the ball in play against a tricky serve reception rotation for Tours. And sure enough, Coach Frankowiak going to call timeout to get themselves organized. 8-5 Friedrichshafen here in the third. Here is Stern again out of the timeout. Going back aggressively with the jump spin serve this time, and he walks away with an ace. Ripping that ball off Polonsky, who's given up 2 aces in this set already. Stern, wow, the confidence to change up the service strategy out of the timeout. And it pays off in a big way. 9-5 Friedrichshafen. Turn the momentum of this game around. And sure enough, Luciano Polonsky, after getting ace twice to start the set, will go to the bench. Number 2 in white, Pierre Delorion, the lefty. 23 years of age, 1.94 m, in it, outside hitter for Tours. That served by Stern, missed just out of bounds long. But a very good run for Friedrichshafen to reestablish a little bit of control. Or establish it really for the first time tonight, but they definitely walked into the gym tonight with control in the series before Tours stormed out to a 2-0 lead. Perfect pass there. Nice run on the back one. Crushed to the floor by Nedeljkovic. Inside the block of Teryemenko, right on the attack line. That is undefendable. I like the mix-up in spacing, moving the middle attacker behind the setter that time from Friedrichshafen. Ooh, one middle attack deserves another. Nice response there from Teryemenko. And now Teryemenko goes back to serve, where he's been pretty good. Let's see if he can get Tours back into this third set. No, not that time. That one, not even close. Darion fights off that serve. He'll take his first swing against 3 blockers. And he actually sends it over with 2 hands. Ban is there. Superlock in transition is dug. Abuba way outside the antenna. Tries to go cross court and is stuffed by Vicentin amongst others, who celebrates hugely by his bench, trying to increase that Friedrichshafen energy level. Both his team and the crowd. And there it is. Nice blocking there from Friedrichshafen, understanding the only place Abuba could have gone was cross court, given how far outside the antenna he was. 5-point Friedrichshafen lead. See if Superlock can keep the pressure on. Pretty good pass there by Joao Rafael, and Parkinson on the back one puts it away. Nice find there by Chauvy. Good pass there by Stern against Abuba. Brown is dug. Transition swing for Darion. Stabbed that by Ben, kept alive. Superlock off the block and out of bounds in transition. Sure enough, Friedrichshafen, who could not buy a break point in the first 2 sets, seemed to be generating them at will here in the third. Their transition game has looked significantly better. Here's Vicentin. Darion, not good hand contact on that one, and did not catch the block on its way out of bounds. Time out towards their second of the set already. Listen to how animated Marcelo Frankowiak is on the Tours sideline. I can't blame him. They have a golden opportunity right here, no pun intended, to potentially win one of the next 2 sets and force a golden set. But up 2-0, Tours seems to have fallen asleep at the wheel here in the third. Credit to Friedrichshafen. If they continue to serve the ball inbounds and put pressure on the Tours side-out offense, they're going to have a great chance here. And sure enough, they force an overpass out of the timeout. Superla crushed down the line off the block of Joao Rafael and out of bounds. It's a 7-point Friedrichshafen lead. What an interesting match we have here. Very streaky. This Friedrichshafen team looks like a completely different group of 7 guys from the one that started this match. And now a very interesting series of substitutions on the Tours side. Chauvin goes out. Jose Ademar Santana, backup outside hitter, in at opposite. Abuba goes out, and Zelko Chorich, the normal starting setter, is in. And immediately an amazing find. Outstanding set from Chorich to Parkinson in the middle. So this is very interesting. Obviously, Tours has started the match really well, but if your captain, your normal starting setter, is healthy, last week Chorich was not. This week now, given that he's in the match, it appears that he is. Why wouldn't you start with him, I wonder? And Stern there goes off the block and out of bounds. Tours without really a true backup opposite on the roster. It's going to be Jose Ademar Montero de Santana. The 26-year-old Brazilian, 1'98", number 19 in white, in at opposite right now. We saw him actually play a little bit outside hitter last week. Nice rip there from Darion. Wrist away in the middle, up really quick. Good delivery from Chorich. Yeah, Nedeljkovic jumping with Parkinson. Nowhere to be found to block that ball. So Tours still with a mountain to climb, but their fearless leader of sorts, Zelko Chorich out of Bosnia-Herzegovina, the 34-year-old setter, able to play and in here in the third set. Nice rip there by Stern. Crushed into the chest of Parkinson into the floor. Darion again out of the back row, this time missed out of bounds. Pretty good looking connection. But already a couple unforced errors from Darion since coming in for Polonsky. And we might have a challenge here from Kowiak. I mean, you might as well. You're down, for now you're down by 8. You could be down by 6 if this challenge is successful. You might as well use the challenges you have while you have them. So we'll check if that ball was in fact out of bounds. Wow, that is very close. That looks to be a centimeter or 2 out of bounds. Yeah, that ball barely misses compressing onto the white line. Unsuccessful challenge from Tours. It is 18-10. It is looking like Friedrichshafen is going to get on the board here in this match. That will set up an all-important 4th set if, in fact, we do get there. Ooh, little paintbrush action. The off-speed from Teryemenko finds the floor no problem. Whether intentional or not, the off-speed attack out of the middle is basically impossible to stop. And it looks like the original setter and opposite for Tours are going to come back in. So Abuba back to the front court. And probably a delayed 6-2 substitution here to allow Santana to serve, and then likely Chauvin will come back for him after this rotation is over. And look at that. Jose Ademar Santana picks up an ace across his body to the position 1 sideline, right on the line. A clean ace serve. Look at that. Beautiful. Nothing Stern can do about that. Nice coaching choice here from Kowiak on the delayed 6-2. It's a 6-point game. Let's see if Ademar can continue this run and pull off a bit of a miracle. And that one is out of bounds long. So now Jose Ademar will go to the bench. Chauvin, the original setter, will come back in. Pretty good service pressure there by Stern. Chauvin to Abuba on the left side. Pancake play is made by Vintage. At least that's the call. Torres disagrees, but no mid-rally challenge. Joao Rafael, however, on the right side does put it away through the Friedrichshafen block. And I think probably some friendly reminders now from our officials to the Torres team and sideline to keep their mouths shut just a little bit. (13 serving 19). Oh, we actually are going to the replay here. Either the replay or just the scores table to make sure we've got everything in order. I'm not entirely sure what the delay here is for, unless a card was issued that we didn't see. So back to action here. Joao Rafael serving for Tours, trailing by 6. It's looking like Friedrichshafen in control here in the third set, although that is a very good block from Teryemenko. One-on-one against Nedeljkovic. It's definitely not over yet. Friedrichshafen has been in control throughout this third set. They've turned it around nicely since sleepwalking through the first 2 sets to an 0-2 deficit. Again, a reminder of the stakes. If Friedrichshafen takes 2 sets, they advance. If Tours wins the match 3-0 or 3-1, we will play a golden set tiebreaker right after this match tonight. That a really good-looking first ball side out there for Friedrichshafen, put away by Vicentin. Friedrichshafen is 5 points away. And this fourth set will be completely decisive if we get there. Wow, look at that set from Chauvin to Teryemenko in the middle. Aggressive from way off the net, about 3 meters, maybe a little more. Firing that in over his shoulder to Teryemenko, who is ready for it. Similar setting there from Vintage to Andre Brown from a little bit off the net. Able to rotate his shoulders and find the quick middle attacker's hitting window that time. So Friedrichshafen is 4 points away. Superlock back to serve. Abuba ripped off the block. Stern runs it down. Vicentin in transition, covered off the hands. Vicentin again wipes it off the block of Abuba, but it appears that it touched the antenna first. That's what Abuba was saying as soon as he landed. He's like, I did not touch that ball before it hit the antenna. Let's see. Ooh, interesting. I don't think the antenna came into play on that one. So unless Vicentin touched the net, which is possible, unless Vicentin touched the net, I think that question was who touched the ball last. But Tours is given the point. No challenge either. And that serve missed out of bounds by Abuba. Friedrichshafen now 3 points away. Vicentin is going to go to the bench here for Vojan Čačić, number 13 in blue. The veteran outside hitter out of Montenegro, 32 years of age, 2 meters and 2. Came in off the bench last week at outside hitter and played great, including from the service line. So let's see if he can serve this third set out in style. Pretty good pass there by Diaz. Joao Rafael out of the back row puts that one away, no problem. Still a comfortable lead for Friedrichshafen in the third. Perfect patch by Chachas in his first attempt. That ball pinballed around, but it's going to be 4 contacts on the Tours side. Effectively a kill there for Andre Brown. Nice one-handed set from Vincic again. We've seen him do that several times. Tall setter Vincic, 2 meters. And 36 years of age, able to get up high and get a hand on that ball to set one of his teammates. Good block touch there against Parkinson in the middle. Another one-handed set right on cue. Vincic to Nedeljkovic quickly in the middle in transition. Nice flashy play there for Friedrichshafen. That brings up set point, 24-17. Look at this transition play. Beautiful all-around volleyball. Alexander Nedeljkovic got the touch against Parkinson to kickstart that transition play, and then good footwork to get up and available in attack. Set point Friedrichshafen. Ooh, dug by Brown, but underneath the net couldn't be chased down. 1 set point saved by Tours. Still plenty of opportunities to side out and get on the board here in this match for the home side. Ooh, good short float serve there from Parkinson. Barely rescued by Sterner. It'll be a free ball. Oh my goodness, what a block by Nedeljkovic. Straight down against Abuba, and Nedeljkovic roars as Friedrichshafen takes the third set pretty convincingly. A very nice response. Down 0-2 to win the third set, 25-18. A pretty good performance there. So Friedrichshafen is on the board, and now an all-important fourth set coming up. This will decide the series. If Tours wins this fourth set, we will play a golden set tiebreaker. If Friedrichshafen wins the fourth set, we will play a fifth set to decide the match, but it will be meaningless for the series. If Friedrichshafen wins the fourth set, they will advance. So all the drama in this 2-match series comes down to set number 4, which we will have for you in just a moment. As we look at the stats here from the third set, we'll take a quick break, come right back on Eurovolley TV and the European Volleyball YouTube channel. All the drama you could ask for, very serious golden set potential when we come back in set number 4. All-important set number 4 coming your way live from Germany. Rob St. Clair with you here, bringing you the second leg of this Champions League playoff series between Friedrichshafen of Germany and Tours of France. Friedrichshafen won the first leg last week on the road, 3-0. That sets up the situation here. If Friedrichshafen wins this fourth set, they advance to the quarterfinal, and the fifth set that we will still play would be irrelevant. If Tours wins this fourth set to win the match 3-1, we will play a tie-breaking golden set to 15 points immediately after this fourth set to determine who advances to the quarterfinals. This is European volleyball at its finest. Set number 4, Friedrichshafen on your left in blue serving, Tours in white on your right receiving. Here we go. And an immediate ace serve. Oh, I thought anyway. Oh, man. Dramatic start. I thought that serve from Superlak caught the baseline. Are we going to have a challenge? I believe we are. Yes, we are. Coach Mark Lebedew of Friedrichshafen believes that ball might have been in. I saw the same thing in real time. We'll see if the super slow motion cameras confirm. Reminder that each team gets 2 video challenges per set that they can call, but if you're correct about your challenge, you keep it. And sure enough, that ball is in. It's in pretty comfortably on the front half of the baseline. Perfect serve from Superlak. And Friedrichshafen starts the fourth set with a break point of their own. The home crowd here, who took a while to get into the match, is now on their feet, because you better believe every one of them understands exactly what's at stake here. Superlak again. Handled by Polonsky this time, who's back to the starting lineup at outside hitter for Tours. Transition play. What a fake by Ziga Stern. Coming out of the back row, jumped and had the option to either swing on that ball or set Vicentin out of the outside. He made the right choice. Pulled 2 blockers. Chauvin and Parkinson were fooled. And Irvin Ingapet and Yuki Ishikawa and the many other outside hitters in the world who have made that play popular, those guys would be proud. Perfect play from Stern and a brilliant start for Friedrichshafen. Abuba dug nicely by Stern. Back to Tours' side and left to go just out of bounds. Abuba now 14 for 25, at least through 3 sets. That would be 15 for 26 with 6 errors. Efficiency has certainly dropped since a brilliant start. Sharp cross court there from Vicentin right on the sideline. Tours disagreed initially because it didn't touch any of the blockers, but I definitely thought that caught a piece of the line. Let's see here. Called inbounds, no challenge. Friedrichshafen leads 3-1. Vicentin, the Argentinian, back to the line. Gary Chauvin, the newly minted Tours starting setter, learned that he was starting last week's match seconds before first serve as captain normal starting setter Zelko Chorich, which injured during warm-ups last week. It's been Chauvin's role ever since, and a really nice point in transition right there for Tours as Joao Rafael Ferreira de Barros goes off the high hands and out of bounds. Three apiece here in the fourth. All important set for these two teams to keep their Champions League seasons alive, and Superlak reestablishes a Friedrichshafen lead with that kill out of the back row. Another service error by Andre Brown. His 4th of the match, not a particularly good performance from the service line. Serving numbers right now, 4 aces to 15 errors for Friedrichshafen, 4 aces to only 10 errors for Tours. That ratio is noticeably better. Good pressure there by Joao Rafael. Ban is there to run it down. Tricky play for Stern. Basically sends over a free ball. Polonsky in transition. What a play by Bam. And Stern capitalizes on the left side. What an awesome dig by Hurricane Blair Bam, number 8 in white. What an electric defender he is to watch. So good to see him back healthy. Expect him to be a significant part of the mix for the Canadian national team this coming summer under brand new head coach Tuomas Samelvuo. Tipped on the right side by Abuba. Vincic is there. Superlock, sharp cross court inside 2 blockers, but missed out of bounds. So Friedrichshafen can't take advantage of the transition swing there. We're tied up at 5. Good blocking there by Tours. Abuba, and I think that's Parkinson next to him in the front court combine to shut down Superlock on the right side that time. That's not a bad swing into the high part of the block. Friedrichshafen not there to cover it. Tours takes the lead, trying to extend here against Friedrichshafen's rotation 1 receive. Ooh, that is somehow not a center line violation. Interesting play there. Vicentin came out of the pipe to attack that ball out of the back row. Ball was kept alive. His momentum carried him underneath the net. Ooh, I think there was a moment there where Vicentin failed to keep his foot on his side. I think if Tours were to challenge a center line violation there, they might have a case. And that is a challengeable area. But for now, Friedrichshafen has the point. And it looks like they're going to keep it. Very interesting. Abuba on the right side, dug by Stern, back to Tours. Polonsky is stuffed straight down. What a block by Michal Superlock. With Nedeljkovic there as well. Absolutely nowhere to go. Look how far over the net Superlock is. That is enormous. And Friedrichshafen capitalizing maybe on a nice break. No call there. The previous point against the Vicentin centerline violation. They get a huge stuff block to take the lead there. Stern back to serve. Ace serve. Ziga Stern splits the seam. A clean, untouched ace for number 14 in blue. Tours got to be really careful here. Momentum is starting to turn. Another really good serve by Stern. Polonsky is underneath it. Now Abuba off the block and right on top of the net for Polonsky to hammer to the floor. Right place, right time. Look at this. Can't ask for a better set than that. Abuba gives it to Polonsky on a platter off the block, and Tours is within 1. Pretty good fight-off pass there from Blair Bam. This is Vicentin over 2 blockers. Dug easily. Transition to Abuba. Ripped cross-court and dug. Again right on the net. Polonsky runs it down off the touch. Abuba ripped cross-court against 3 blockers. He wants the touch. He's calling for it immediately. Not called in real time, and we might have a challenge here. Abuba signaling he wants the challenge. It's not his call, it's his coach's, but Coach Frankowiak agrees. We're going to look at this on the replay to see if there was in fact a block touch, and it looks like you don't even need to go to the replay. This happens sometimes. Now that we've got the challenge system, if you call a block touch challenge and you're the blocker and you know that you did touch the ball, might as well just admit to the touch. It's going to be detected anyway by the camera, so might as well save everybody some time and I think that's exactly what happened there. So Abuba does get that kill out of the back row off the touch. We are tied up at 8. And it's Abuba from the service line. Really good pass there. Superla, crush cross court on the right side. Outstanding service reception that time from Luciano Vicentin. Vincic had all 4 options and not a very well-formed block up in front of Superlock that time. Abuba out of the back row through a seam in the block and in, no problem. Leading scorer for Tours by far, Abuba with 17 coming into the 4th set. Inching closer to 20 points on the evening, and now Polonsky back to the service line. Vicentin crushed off the block of Chauvin and out of bounds. That is a good matchup, like we talked about earlier. Chauvin, the setter, blocking for Tours. Only 1.85 meters. Superlock, who started this set with an ace, if you remember back to that video replay on the first point of the set. Not so lucky that time. Vicentin into the block, covered by Vincic. Scramble is on. Basically a free ball here for Tours. Opportunity to take the lead. Joao Rafael is stuffed straight down. Andre Brown flying over from the middle blocker position to take that cross-court space away. Let's see this again. Look at how much space Brown covers, jumping off of 1 foot and drifting into that cross-court window. Hard to blame Joao Rafael for not seeing him coming, but Friedrichshafen takes the lead. Ooh, is that touch by Band going to be run down? Yes, Vicentin is there, but right on the net and dunked to the floor by Chauvin, the setter, with 2 hands. Unfortunate there. What you want to do, if you're able to get to the ball in time to have any amount of control over where you're going to go, if you're Vicentin in that situation, run it down by the barrier, right on the net is the last place you want to put that ball. Maybe 2 meters off the net is as tight as you want to go. Give your team a chance to at least do something with it. Good set there from Vincic to Brown to retake the lead at 12-11. Is that a cover off Terrymenko's head? I think it might have been. Diaz tries to cover it the second time with the block too good. Really good blocking from Friedrichshafen. A break point gives him a 2-point lead. Yeah, that was definitely covered off Terrymenko's head. But Nedeljkovic stayed in the play, got to his left to shut down. I think that was Joao Rafael on the right side that time. Here is Joao Rafael once again on the right side. This time gets the good deflection off the block of Stern and out of bounds. So Tours side's out of rotation 1. They trail by 1, looking for a break point. Vincic runs out of room by the scorer's table. That ball is actually sent inside the antenna back to Tours. Somehow. That angle is ridiculous. Good block there by Friedrichshafen. They're going to get a free ball out of this. Superlock out of the offense. One-handed set attempt. Oh, Vincic to Nedeljkovic. Can't quite connect. Missed opportunity for Friedrichshafen after Vincic chases that ball down. Just not a very good free ball pass by Michal Superlock. And a point, a very interesting point there. Had a little bit of everything. Tours does take it to tie us up at 13 in this all-important fourth set. Stern dug by Chauvin down the line. Polonsky with a swing for the lead. Inbounds. No, never mind. Just out of bounds wide off the block touch. I thought that might have caught a piece of the sideline, but Polonsky tools the block of the outside hand. Gets the good deflection out of bounds. It's 14-13 Tours, and Mark Lebedew calls timeout. This gym is silent here in Germany. Let's get a microphone in and listen into the sidelines. A reminder of the stakes as we pass the midway point here in the fourth set. If Tours wins this set, we play a golden set tiebreaker to decide who advances. If Friedrichshafen wins this set, they advance to the quarterfinals. Free ball chance here. Polonsky tip, dug by Bam. Superlock ripped out of the back row off of Joao Rafael. Our line judge might have taken one in the face that time. He gets some love from Coach Frankowiak, but that is a missed opportunity for Tours for sure. Forcing an overpass, having to send over a pretty easy tip. Credit to our line judge there, hanging in there. He's smiling. That's good to see. Abuba slowed down by a good block touch. Great chance here for Friedrichshafen to take the lead. Stern off the block and out of bounds, and they do. Nice timeout from Friedrichshafen. Getting 2 points in a row to take the lead barely, and I'm not surprised. Tours going to call a timeout of their own to try and produce some similar fortunes on their side. 14-15 in the fourth. Let's listen to Coach Frankowiak's timeout now.
Okay, we need to take a little bit attention inside out. You can play with the goal and in transition. The possibility to play with the middle and pipe in transition, okay? Hey, come back, come back.
Captain Dejan Vincic back to serve. 1 point Friedrichshafen lead, looking to close out this playoff series in this fourth set. And a beautiful swing in transition. Ziga Stern rips it sharp cross court for a 2 point Friedrichshafen lead. Tours needs to stop the bleeding in this rotation. What a set by Vincic. Teryemenko was on skates, going completely the opposite direction of that offense. Teryemenko dug by Vincic in the middle. Superlock dug by Diaz in position 6. And Polonsky covered by Abuba. That's a very tight set. And Nedeljkovic goes over the top of Chauvin to put it down. It was a very tight pass, Chauvin, the undersized setter, couldn't go up and get it. Not handled very well by Abuba. Definitely fair for Nedeljkovic to go get that. It was above the plane of the net. And it's a 3 point Friedrichshafen lead. And now we have a straight up 1-for-1 setter substitution. Zelko Chorich, whose battle through injury has been a storyline throughout this season, is in for Chauvin straight up. He's in the backcourt right now. I'm very curious to see if they keep him in if he goes to the front court. Polonsky dug by Ban, ripped cross court. Stern is there. Superlak wins the joust, but the coverage is there for Torres. Now Abuba, gotta have this. He's covered off the block. Abuba takes a swing, falling away from the net, and buries it into the net short. A huge run for Friedrichshafen. 5-0 by my count. Pretty sure it was 14-13 Torres. And now Coach Marcelo Frankowiak's going to have to call his second timeout in this one rotation. That is a bad sign, no matter the situation, but especially one like this, where this set will decide so much about this Champions League playoff series. Torres is letting it slip away. They need to rescue this fourth set, and they need to do it right here, right now. We heard from both coaches in their interviews after set 2. Torres led convincingly 2-0. Friedrichshafen looked like they hadn't gotten out of bed this morning. Then it completely turned around. Friedrichshafen convincingly won the third, and they have pulled away here in the fourth. What can Torres do to fight back? Polonsky dug by Ban again. Excellent move. Stern ripped cross court in transition. Torres is trapped in this rotation. Feels like they are imprisoned right now. Cannot side out against this Dejan Vincic serve, and Friedrichshafen is running it back down their throats in transition. What a shot from Stern to go up by 5. And now there's very little that Torres can do. They've called both their timeouts. They've put in a different setter. Finally, the run is over. Teryemenko on the back one puts it down. They've also put in Jose Ademar de Santana. Yes, Jose Ademar in for Polonsky at outside hitter. So we saw Jose Ademar Montero de Santana come in at opposite in the last set. This time in at outside hitter. Very interesting move there. Torres trying anything they can. Now they need break points. Teryemenko serving. Beautifully handled by Vicentin, and quickly in the middle to Nedeljkovic. No doubt about that one. Friedrichshafen at 20-15 is 5 points away from a berth in the quarterfinals and a rematch against their Pool A opponents, Jastrzębski Węgiel out of Poland. Pipe combination play ripped out of the back row by Joao Rafael. Nice offense there. That went right through the arms of Nedeljkovic, I believe. And now I think Shovian, the original setter, is going to come back in. Yes, I believe he can. So Chorich unable to keep going in the front court. 4-point Friedrichshafen lead. Side out chance. And Vicentin is rejected. Good block there by Shovian and Parkinson. Tight set there from Vincic. Nowhere that Polonsky was going to be able to go. Or that was Vicentin, excuse me, on the left side for Friedrichshafen. Not over yet. Abuba can do damage from the service line, but you must serve this ball in bounds. Ooh, not out by much, but the right call for Friedrichshafen to leave it. He just misses long, and that is a big break for Friedrichshafen. They're now 4 points away. And now Vojan Čačić, the veteran Montenegrin outside hitter, in this time as a service sub for Nedeljkovic. Similarly, he ripped an ace late in the third set in the first leg last week to basically put that match away. I wonder if he can do the same here. No, not this time. Service sub is undone on the Friedrichshafen side. 18 serving 21. Jose Ademar de Santana is the Torres server. He had an ace late in the third set. Pretty good pass there from Ban. Very tight set to the outside from Vincic. Thrown back down by Shovian, the blocker. That is a setting mistake for sure. And Torres will take that break point. They're back within 2. Definitely not over yet. I was just about to say, Friedrichshafen still has a timeout. They're going to use it here, their second and final timeout, after giving up a break point there in that rotation. 21-19, Friedrichshafen leads.
Look after this one ball. It has some junk, okay? So be careful the shorter serve soup is on it, or all the net takes on it. Let's go.
Massive point right here out of the timeout. Can Torres grab another break point to get back within one, or will Friedrichshafen inch closer to advancing into the quarterfinals? Vicentine blocked, covered barely by Brown. This is going to be a free ball for Torres. Huge chance to get back within one. Joao Rafael is dug. Vicentine takes it on the second contact and throws it off the block. What a massive missed opportunity. Torres had an easy free ball chance. They go to Joao Rafael on the left side. Superlock one-on-one makes a good block touch, and it's easy transition for Friedrichshafen. Wow, I'm not sure Torres is going to get any better looks than that. The Friedrichshafen lead is back up to 3. They're 3 points away from advancing to the quarterfinals. Abuba ripped down the line out of the back row. No problem there, but Torres needs break points. Whose turn is it to serve? Should be Michael Parkinson, the middle blocker, I believe. Yes, Tour does not use a service sub for Parkinson because they don't have enough substitution flexibility. Vicentine off the block and just out of the reach of the defenders. That was a pretty good block touch by Tours, but their defenders in the backcourt were not deep enough. Look at Jose Ademar and Parkinson, who shifted way over to the line. Not in position to run down that deflection. Friedrichshafen is 2 points away. Tim Pater in off the bench to serve for Vicentine. Good pass there by Diaz. Joao Rafael, 2 hands through the block, covered, kept alive. Superlock dug on the off speed. Abuba, deep cross court. Missed it out of bounds, and I don't see Tours asking for a touch. Because they have no timeouts, I think Tours might have no choice but to challenge this out of desperation, and yes, they will. This is basically a timeout here. I think Abuba knows that he missed this out of bounds, but Frankowiak has no other options to slow down this game, hoping for a miracle block touch here on this replay. If it stands as called, Friedrichshafen is going to have set points in the fourth. And yeah, sure enough, definitely no block touch there. That went well wide of Brown's right hand. Friedrichshafen has set point 24-20. If they win this set, the series is over. Friedrichshafen will advance to take on Jastrzębski Węgiel. We will still play a fifth set here to decide the match, but the outcome will not matter. All Friedrichshafen needs is 2 sets. Set point here at 24-20. Crowd on their feet. Good service pressure. Abuba to stay alive. Dug by Vincic. Good run out of the back row. Jose Ademar Montero keeps Tours alive, if not just briefly. Set point number 2 for Friedrichshafen against Gary Chauvin's serve. Superlock for the win, and he puts it away down the line. Friedrichshafen, after getting crushed, quite frankly, in the first 2 sets, have completely responded. A huge 180-degree rebound to take sets 3 and 4. And because of their 3-0 win last week, a guaranteed point in this match by winning 2 sets. Friedrichshafen has clinched their advancement to the Champions League quarterfinal. Congratulations to Coach Mark Lebedew and VfB Friedrichshafen. They have guaranteed themselves a spot in the top 8 in all of European men's volleyball. A very prestigious achievement. Tours led 2-0. They had chances to force a golden set if they won the third or fourth here tonight, but they came up just barely short. So, although the drama is largely over, we know now that Friedrichshafen will advance to the quarterfinal. We still do have to decide the outcome of this match. We will play a fifth set to 15 points for, I guess, just a moral victory of sorts to decide who wins the match itself. But again, it is confirmed. Friedrichshafen has clinched advancement to the quarterfinal. Tours Champions League run, which was a very good one, will end after this match. So, set 5 coming up. We'll be right back to bring it to you. Just about ready for set number 5 between Tours and Friedrichshafen to cap off this really dynamic and fun to watch 2-match series. The drama is over. Friedrichshafen, by taking 2 sets here tonight, has clinched their advancement to the quarterfinal. They will take on Jastrzębski Węgiel in a rematch of the back-to-back series in Pool A that they played already this Champions League season, but still got to decide this 5th set. By the way, now 2 of our 3 playoff series have been decided. Zaksa, Kędzierzyn, and Kozle earlier today, the 2-time defending champions, took 2 sets versus Warta Zawiercie, their Polish rivals. That was all they needed to advance. So in the quarterfinal, we're going to have a rematch of the last 2 Champions League finals and of pool play earlier. It'll be Zaksa versus Trentino in the quarterfinal. And just now, we had a red card given out before the set even starts. What happened there? Interesting. I think Tours was just given a red card. And now that this is meaningless in terms of who advances, I can't imagine what there would be worth arguing about to produce a red card. But yes, Marcelo Frankowiak has been awarded a red card. So Friedrichshafen is going to get a point on the scoreboard from that, and I'm sure it'll take a little bit of time to sort this out. So while we have that time, we can update you all on the rest of the tournament. So like I mentioned, Zaksa took 2 sets against Zawiercie this morning, or earlier this afternoon, European time. That is all they needed. Zaksa advances to the quarterfinal. They will take on Trentino. Match of the last 2 superfinals, rematch of pool play this year. I'll never get tired of watching Zaksa versus Trentino. So that's one of the quarterfinals. We've already known another one of the quarterfinals. That is Halkbank Ankara out of Turkey against Lube Civitanova out of Italy, the 4 seed versus the 5 seed. That one gets started the first week of March. The other quarterfinal that we now know is VfB Friedrichshafen, who advanced by taking 2 sets tonight in this series, will take on Jastrzębski Węgiel in another pool play rematch. The last one that we do not know is who will advance to take on one of the favorites in the tournament, Sir Safety Perugia. The Berlin Recycling Volleys and Ziraatbank Ankara in a 5th set right this second in a do-or-die one-match decider to see who advances out of that playoff to take on Perugia in the next round. So we'll update you on that score as well. But we are underway here in the 5th set between Tours and Friedrichshafen. Friedrichshafen got the free point because of the red card given to Tours coach Frankowiak. And then Tours got a side out, so it's 1-1. There is Vicentin off the block, cross court and down. A little surprised that we're still seeing the Friedrichshafen starting lineup in right now, given that the result of this 5th set is meaningless. Well, I shouldn't say it's meaningless. It's meaningless in terms of who advances, but everybody wants to win. Tight pass, Jose Ademar. Montero de Santana gets the started outside hitter and passes that one right on the net. Andre Brown crushes it to the floor. You see there's Chauvy in the backup setter, or who's started the whole match, been the backup most of the season. Goes up to attempt to block, but pulls his hands away at the last second. That's because he's a backcourt player. Can't legally go up and block against that ball. Abuba chops that one through the block and down. Jakob Kleinman, by the way, number 20 in white, gets the start at middle blocker in this set for Tours. The 19-year-old out of the Czech Republic, and here he is back to serve. Superlock is dug cross court. Abuba chopped down the line inside 3 blockers and right on the baseline, I believe. Good swing there. Kleinman's first look at the service line is missed out of bounds long right there. By the way, just keeping an eye on the score of the other match going on right now. The Berlin Recycling Volleys have a match point against Ziraat Bank Ankara, 14-8 in the 5th. It looks like Berlin, playing at home right now, are going to win that one in the 5th to advance to take on Perugia in the quarterfinal. But we'll update you when that goes final. That ball crushed to the floor on yet another overpass by Nedeljkovic. Friedrichshafen's lead is 2. Again, Chauvy in the backcourt center can't go up and block against that play. Ooh, thought Brown might have a tape trickler ace that time. Instead, it falls short. Abuba, wow, almost tagged 2 Friedrichshafen players on his way out of bounds that time, but good little dodgeball play from both Ban and Superlock. Deep cross-court swing there from Jose Ademar. Missed out of bounds. He's looking for a touch. Wasn't called initially, but we might have a challenge against this. Yes, we do. And while we look at this challenge, I want to confirm the Berlin Recycling Volleys defeat Ziraat Bank Ankara in a really good 5-set match, 15-9 in the 5th. Berlin takes that one at home, and that series was reduced to only 1 match, as last week's game in Turkey was not able to be played. As a result of that challenge here, that ball is touched off the block of Stern. Good challenge there from Tours. So Berlin is our final team to complete the field of 8 teams in the Champions League quarterfinal. Stern gets away with that one off the outside of the block. I think that's Darion who gets the start at outside hitter for Tours this set. Yes, it is. Number 2 in white there on the left side. Doesn't put up a very good block that time. So confirmation of our 4 quarterfinals. We've got Friedrichshafen taking on Jastrzębski Węgiel out of Poland. We've got Hawkbank Ankara against Lube Civitanova. We've got the Berlin Recycling Volleys against their safety Perugia of Italy. And we've got Zaxa Kindergen Kojle against Itas Trentino of Italy as well. Side change here in the 5th set. Friedrichshafen leads 8-6. Teams have changed sides in this tie-breaking set to 15. This tie-breaking set decides who will win the match, but who will advance to the quarterfinal out of this series is already decided. That honor belongs to Friedrichshafen for taking 2 sets this evening after winning 3-0 on the road last week. Wow, really good block there. Brown with a brilliant read to shut down Klymon and Vicentin there as well. Nice swing there by Brown out of the middle. 3-point Friedrichshafen lead, looking to give this crowd even a little bit more to cheer about. They will have at least one more match, one more home match worth of Champions League volley to play this season, as they will have yet another home series against Jastrzębski Węgiel coming up in the quarterfinal round. I believe those series are scheduled to start the week of March 15th, so plenty of time to prepare for those. Good deep swing there from Vicentin off the block and out of bounds. Yep, that is textbook. I think might have gotten a little bit lucky there right between the hands of Abuba, but keeping the ball high, especially with a big blocker in front of you, is always a good choice. Darion off, I think, the head of Brown, who split block pretty significantly to try and take away angles. Instead, his head was a target, and the straightaway swing from Darion that time. To flex into the spectators. Tours within 2, 9 serving 11. See if they can make a comeback, take a little moral victory back home to France, even though their Champions League season will be ending after this one. Good dig there from Darion. Well, good initially, but out of bounds on the Friedrichshafen side, well watched by Ster. Wow, what a block by Nedeljkovic. Both middle blockers putting on a show here for Friedrichshafen in the 5th. That one is a no-doubter. Nedeljkovic following Michael Parkinson the entire way. 9 blocks apiece for the two teams on the match. 13-9 Friedrichshafen. Tim Peters served well off the bench throughout this match. Misses that one out of bounds. Oh, are we having a video check here? I thought that was pretty comfortably out, but Friedrichshafen is going to challenge, see if it caught a piece of the baseline. I would be surprised if this got overturned. Yeah, sure enough, that ball's way out of bounds. I don't really know what Mark Lebedew is looking at right there. So Friedrichshafen will undo that service substitution. Abuba here and Tours are running out of time. See if the big lefty Brazilian can make some magic happen. Down 10 serving 13. Forces the overpass. Good chance here for Toro. Oh, mishandled by Parkinson. And Superlock ripped cross court. He's dug. Not a very good set there. Abuba has to stay down, send it over as a free ball. Nedeljkovic on the gap set, puts it down in the middle. That'll bring up match point. Another substitution as well as Simon Kohn, number 16 in blue, backup libero. Only 18 years of age, getting a little bit of court time for Friedrichshafen, just kind of as a backcourt substitute. Match point here, 14-10. Dejan Vincic with the honors. Abuba to stay alive, and he does. Puts that one away off the block of Sternen out of bounds. Friedrichshafen with 3 opportunities inside out to complete a reverse sweep. Down 2-0 at home against Tours. Have brought it all the way back. And there it is. It is official. From the brink, Friedrichshafen down 2-0. It looked like we might be headed to a golden set. But Friedrichshafen storms back. They take the 2 sets required to advance. And just for good measure, they take the 5th set as well to win the match 3-2. Again, congratulations to Mark Lebedew and VfB Friedrichshafen's entire club for advancing to the top 8 phase of all of European men's volleyball. That is a significant accomplishment. 2 German teams in the final 8, as the Berlin Recycling Volleys were also able to advance today. Also want to congratulate Tours Volleyball Club on their excellent Champions League run. Making it into the bracket of 11 teams is also a very good achievement. So the quarterfinals are set. On one side of the bracket, Jastrzębski Węgiel, who gets the number 1 seed overall, will take on VfB Friedrichshafen here, who they saw in pool play. On that same side of the bracket, Halkbank Ankara, who won Pool E, will take on Lube Civita Nova, who won their pool as well. On the other side of the bracket, the reigning champions, Zaksa Kendzierzyn Kozle, the 2-time reigning champions, take on their opponents from pool play this year and their last 2 finals, Trentino. So Zaksa versus Trentino again in the quarterfinal. And the Berlin Recycling Volleys take on Sir Safety Perugia. The quarterfinals are set, and Friedrichshafen is there. They give their home fans a round of applause. The fans will get at least one more home match to watch their team play in the Champions League 2023 season. So that should do it, ladies and gentlemen. A packed Wednesday of Champions League volleyball. The women's Champions League pool phase is a wrap. The men's playoff phase is a wrap. The women's bracket of 11 teams is now set. The men's quarterfinal field of 8 teams is now set. And now elimination volleyball from here on out in the Champions League 2023 season on both sides. Thank you so much for watching live on Eurovolley TV or the European Volleyball YouTube channel. Been great to stream all these games live on YouTube, free to the public, as a fundraising support and Save the Children, trying to give all the support we can to those aiding relief efforts after the gigantic Turkish earthquakes in the last week or two. So if you're able to donate here, there should be a donate button in the description or in the live chat. But that should just about do it for us here live from Germany. Rob St. Clair signing off for now. Thanks very much for watching. We will see you for the Champions League quarterfinal.
After 2 sets down, were you believing in yourself after these 2 sets?
Yeah, I think we like to make comebacks in this gym. We played here twice, and twice we had same result with coming back in a tough situation, and also against French teams. So for sure it will build our mentality for the next part of the season, and this is what we wished for, the win, and to try to fight against the champion.
You are now one of the 8 best teams in Europe. How does that feel?
Yeah, it feels very good. It's amazing that we achieved this result, but we have to fight still and try to show against the champion that we can win against them.
Yeah, you said it. It's going. You're going to your champion now. For the second time this year, you lost. But how is the situation now? Do you think there is some chance to go to the semis?
Yeah, I think we had our chances in both games in group stage. So if we will be more consistent and we will play on our highest level, I think everything is open and we will try to win every game.
And now it's time to celebrate. Thank you very much.